Hey all, for those who are tuning in, we're back again with another video. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Joseph, and the purpose of this video is to show a demo of an Ale wallet interaction with a smart contract on the Huygens testnet. So I'm very excited to get into the details here and actually do a demo along with you guys and kind of break down some of the dependencies and some of the functions and what the what is actually happening within the background and on the front end. We'll actually run a quick HTTP little web server, local host, and we'll go into a test interaction. So for any of you who have not, please be sure to watch our first explainer video on how to develop and execute a smart contract. For those of you who have been following, we are currently on our testnet, which is our second testnet, Huygens. It has a major improvement, which is being fully compatible with the EVM. So, what's the purpose of this? The purpose of this blockchain being fully compatible with our EVM is to ensure that developers have a flat learning curve when deploying or creating smart contracts on Huygens, which is definitely needed. And when we deploy onto our mainnet, it allows developers to use popular tools and the native language Solidity. So let us get into some juicy stuff. Again, in this video, we're going to be interacting with a smart contract using our Ale wallet. So we'll see the back end and the front end. It is important to always stay up with our documentation. We have two different documentation sources. We have our Git book, which can be navigated to by going to our website, Computecoin.network, and simply clicking Docs. And here we have our entire website. So just briefly going over, we could see our smart contract developers section here and all of our information within here. So Ale wallet developers is the tab we'll be focusing on today. Very briefly, this is going to be your notebook and your documentation. Along with that, we have our Computecoin network GitHub, which has been updated to have our Huygens Smart Contract 101. In this case, we'll be interacting with Huygens Ale Wallet 101. So what you're going to do is download this file right here. You're going to open it up in whatever viewer you're using. I'm using Visual Studio, and then you could interact and view from there. So that's where you're going to get that. Let's get into the demo here. What we're looking at right here is our mcp.js. So the first thing that must happen is we actually have to import our dependencies. And our dependencies are found in our package.json file. So we could see here we have to make sure this mpc.js is actually included in our dependencies, and in this case it is. So we are good to go. First step, check. After that, we're going to have to check another thing. Contract.js. So here we have a simple overview of what RPC URL we're using. So in this case, we're interacting on the Huygens dev network, developer network. So we're going to want to make sure we use the associated URL in RPC node. So here we can see we are. Below, we could see the contract, the ERC20 token contract address that we're actually interacting with. Again, if you download this from our GitHub, this will already be in here. But if you're making your own contract, you're going to have to change these details, especially depending on what network you're interacting on. You could see I actually had a little typo here. That's okay. Let's move into the next thing. Once we have these checked, we're going to check our aba.json file. And this is what includes our contract. Okay, so we're interacting with our contract here. and our ABI.json file is what is actually going to be interacting with our contract here. So I don't want to get crazy into the details, but this is where that file sits. This is its home. So let's look at our front end. This is where all the juicy stuff is going to be happening today. In our previous video, we looked at the back end of smart contracts. We ran it through our terminal window. But today we're going to be dealing with the front end, which is much more exciting. So our front end sits in a couple of places. The first place we'll look at is our plugin.js. So we could see we have 5 different criteria that must be checked when interacting with our front end. And I will show a demo further in the video. And these 5 criteria, as we could see, is the Ale wallet actually connected? Is Ale here? Okay. What account is connected? We can see here. Okay. What is the current Ale wallet account connected? We could see here. And then we could see what network is the Ale wallet actually connected to. We could see here. I don't want to get into too much detail, but just overviewing what is in our files here. So once that criteria is checked, and you'll see it in our demo, we're going to go over to the front end. So the team has created this template. We'll scroll to the top here, and we can see this quick template here. And this is where you're going to be interacting to connect your wallet. Once your wallet is connected, the connect will become successful, and then it will show an approve button. So we could see this all here in our template, right? And again, it's that you have to connect your account first. Once it's a button you interact with. Once the button is connected, connect Ale wallet. Ale wallet gets connected. You have a successful connect. Then you have to approve the $100 transaction. In this case, the $100 send. So, very briefly, we could see here the different functions and methods we have going on here. So we could see below here that the connect function is actually connected to this method, okay? The approve function is actually connected to the approve money is connected to this function down here, okay? And then we have our approve 100, which is shown on our web interface, which is again connected to the function or the method below. Sorry, this function connected to the method below. So this is where our juicy stuff sits. Now let's actually do a test, run a demo, and show the front end on what it would look like. So when you first actually install our file from GitHub and have JS running, it is important to run npm I, and this will initialize your dependencies and services in order to actually get things rolling. So I've already done this, so there's actually no need for me to repeat this. So we're not going to do that. But in order for us to interact, we could see here briefly my localhost server is not running yet. We're going to have to make sure that's running. And that can happen very seamlessly by running the command npm run serve, serve. We'll click enter. And we'll let that happen. Cool. So that happened. Very briefly, I would like to explain that other front-end frameworks could be used. In this case example, we're using Vue for our front-end JavaScript framework. However, you could use other similar frameworks like React.js. I wanted to mention that in the beginning, but we'll mention it here. So we could see here we're running at this address. Let's refresh this web page and see if we could get it to work. Perfect. So here we see from our template our connect ale. And what we're going to do here is click Connect to Ale. You can see my Ale wallet is already here. I've created a test wallet, and we're actually going to connect this to the site. So we'll connect our two accounts here. Click Next. We're connected. So we can see our connect was successful. Let's see which account we're using. I have two accounts here. I'm logged into account 2 currently, and we could see here our actual address is shown here. So we've successfully connected account 2. Again, we could see this here in our template. Okay, and it shows our connect success, which then shows our wallet, which is represented here by Alerium. So let's actually interact. Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to actually learn a little bit more about this approve button here. This approve button. So what does this approve button actually do? So you're going to find the details of our approve button in our index.js. So very simply, we see a couple of things going on here. And our index.js actually interacts with our, this is our API that's connecting to our blockchain, okay, our Huygens network. So what we see here is this is what sends the transaction to the block, which is defined in the mcp.js, which is a function used to communicate with Huygens, right? And then once we do that, we have this, which is the method calling and sending the transaction to the blockchain. So this is what's going to function and happen once we actually click that approve 100 button. So let's do it. So we click approve, and we're going to have to pay a very, very small gas fee, not an arm and a leg. So we'll click confirm here. And once we do, we could see I have a little inspect console open here just by simply right-clicking and inspecting, going to console. And we can view some of our details. So we could see that this transaction is coming from our wallet, okay, and it's going to our smart contract. Let's see if that's defined. Very briefly, let's show in our contract.js file, we could see our contract address. So we could see this successfully worked. And I could do this a couple of other times, and we'll run it again. And we'll have to confirm our transaction here. And once it confirms, again, by viewing these messages here, we could see the details. We could also see here our gas and our gas price. It shows these variables as undefined, but that is okay. The pure purpose of this demo is to just show a front end of actually interacting on a web interface with our Ale wallet. So we could see this has completed successfully, which is very exciting. So if you're going to stay up to date on all of our project news and other such things, it's important to join our Discord. And our Discord can be found on our website. No need for me to go through it. But our Discord does have a developers section. It was just created, but if you have any questions, things that you can't answer, or are interested in deploying a project, please stop by, come say hi. So I hope you have fun developing with Computecoin Network. And it should be pretty seamless, considering we are, EVM compatible. And be sure to always check up on our Git book, which will have all of our updated documentation. And also be sure to bookmark our GitHub, which will have all of the necessary front projects that you could interact and play with on Huygens. So it was fun going through this with you guys, and I'm excited to do the next one. So it is a little bit of a longer video, but we did have that fun demo in the end. So have fun deploying projects. Cheers.